All right, mics are hot. I'll tell you when I see it going.
Should be live soon. So RC Wooden should get some time in this game, no?
Well, no, he got cut.
Oh, did he get cut?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
And I'm hoping, in a sense, that it's because he got hurt, but I didn't know if definitely. I see it live now.
Okay.
So we're just talking hot Isaiah Wooden talk to start while we're getting up to speed.
Jeff, when I was seeing training camp footage of Mike Hughes getting burned by Tyreek Hill, I was thinking back to our conversation of how Falcons really need that second corner.
Yeah, and what's crazy to me is I don't know if you guys have seen the list of Falcons out tonight, but Mike Hughes is out, right? So
really?
they've essentially the only starters that are out. So offensively, every starter is out offensively, and plus Tyler Algier, right? So they got 13 guys from offense out. Defensively, they've got, as expected, Grady's out. David, Big David, Onyemata is out. Caden Ellis is out. Troy Anderson is out. Obviously, Terrell is out. Bates is out. D. Alfred is out. Mike Hughes is out. I am actually shocked that both D. Alfred and Mike Hughes are not playing tonight. For me, like those guys, I don't care who you're playing against. Those guys need reps. And Nate Landman is out as well. He's the only non-listed starter that is out, other than the guys that I just talked about. So,
you think he's starting over Troy Anderson, or is it still 50-50 battle right now?
It's still a 50-50 battle right now. I just don't know how you. It'll be tough to go between the two of them, right? I mean, Troy Anderson had a really good 2023, and obviously you saw that in the additional bonus that he got at the end of the year from the NFL.
I'm a big fan. I wasn't so impressed with Landman, but then I was surprised to see he was working ahead of Anderson. Then it looked like Anderson was starting to work ahead of him. Mm-hmm. Is it because they're bringing him back slow and he didn't play last year, so they're making him fight for it, or is Landman really in that battle? Was my first thoughts.
One
it's
other
a really
thing
good question.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I'm just trying to answer that question.
And I've seen Bertrand get a little bit of run, but I can't believe he would supplant both of them. So you said Algier isn't playing. Is Jace McClellan going to start then? Or did Avery Williams?
My guess is it's probably going to be Avery Williams.
I like Jace.
Was Jace on the team last year?
No, he's undrafted. He went undrafted, didn't he?
It's game one of the 2020.
I think he deserved better than undrafted, but so Tyler Algier's not starting. What are you guys going to do for a kick return team gunner? As soon as I saw him working on the kick return team, I'm like, they ain't giving him a serious role. I don't care what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wow, we're going up against our old DT, Calais Campbell, but I doubt he's going to play. There's no way they'll put a vet like that
Calais
out there.
Campbell plays in this game.
I
don't know whether to applaud him or...
I don't know at this point. I mean, it's like kind of... None of this big veterans play, so... Unless you're on the Chiefs, right?
Only the good players, only the players that are locked in, that you can't question, don't play in the preseason like Bryce Young last night.
Yeah, exactly.
I could not believe that when I saw that. Like, if there's any guy that should have been forced to play, it was him.
Oh, yeah. He needs all the reps he can get, man. Instead, they started.
That was
Jack
one of the
Plummer.
worst. Yeah, that was one of the worst performances in a preseason. Which that's saying something of a team that I think I may have ever seen. At least the worst I've seen this year.
Yeah.
In 3 games that have been.
And that's why it's so
far.
hard to take what Joe Milton did seriously, right? You look at his box score, like we were discussing last night. Looks good, but then you see the competition he went up against, and it's like, how much could you really read into that, right?
Yeah.
Jeff, I saw something out there, by the way, on Twitter. I forgot if it was a credible account or not, but they were talking about how Justin Simmons might be a fit for the Falcons. I don't know if that's more like armchair GMs just trying to connect the dots, or if there's actual credence to that rumor.
And I have not heard anything. Again, not that I'm the end all be all, right? I think you're going to see. I think you'll see some movement here the next week or two. After these first preseason games, with what the Falcons have, obviously you know what you have. With Richie Grant, right? Or sorry, Jesse Bates. Richie Grant obviously is the big question mark, and I don't think anybody really wants him on this team. And I think if he comes out this first week or two and struggles here in the preseason, it wouldn't shock me to see them go after a guy like Justin Simmons, provided he's still on the market. I know he was in New Orleans earlier this week or something like that, and didn't get a deal from them. But for me, Richie Grant's got a lot to prove.
Is he starting right now, Jeff?
Yeah.
That's what I saw, something like that. Saw an article talking about that.
Before these games get going, I need to fire out some of the hotter fantasy questions to Jeff. We need to set Isaiah Wooten and Richie Grant aside here and start getting down to some sexy fantasy talk.
Yeah.
Jeff.
That's more dynasty, Jeff. The leagues that a lot of our community are in is a little deeper. That's why we care about a person like Isaiah Wooden versus where the more mainstream leagues care about Algier, Robinson, the names that people are familiar with.
My first question is going to be a 2024 based question for Fantasy 2024. Jeff, for $1 million, if you were to get this right, doesn't cost you anything if you get it wrong, but if you get it right, you'd win $1 million. Assuming every player on the team is healthy, doesn't miss any games, everything being equal. Among the wide receivers and tight ends, who's going to be the number 1 and the number 2 most targeted player? This is assuming Kirk Cousins is going to play all 17 games. Among the starting wide receivers and tight ends, so take Bijan out of the backfield out of it. So we're really talking London, Mooney, Pitts, and I guess you could throw Ray in there if you wanted to. Who will be 1 and who will be 2 in your opinion?
So I'm not even going to hesitate on that one. Kyle Pitts is going to be 1 or 2.
I did not expect that answer.
Me either.
I'm liking it, but I've got a follow-up for it.
You are going to see them move him around the field. He is not. This is not going to be that nonsense we saw with Arthur Smith, where he was having Kyle Pitts block while tight ends 2 and 3 were throwing passes to each other. Right, that is not going to be what this is. Zach Robinson absolutely loves what he has in Kyle Pitts. This new staff has renewed Kyle Pitts' energy. And he's in great shape. He's out there. I mean, he's smiling. He's doing things you haven't seen in a couple of years, right? So Kyle Pitts is going to be 1 or 2. And it honestly, it would not shock me if Darnell Mooney was the other one.
Wow, there we go.
I think Mooney and Pitts will be your two. Obviously, Mooney, I know you said, if everybody stays healthy, obviously Mooney, we kind of saw earlier this week. I think 1, 2, and then honestly, if I'm going 3, I think it's going to be crazy to say. I think Bijan might be 3rd on that list if you're going top 3. I think he's going to be used a lot out of the backfield this year.
Now I need to ask follow-ups. Let's start from the top. So Pitts at number 1.
Yep.
Two follow-up questions to that.
Okay.
Why is it that, and albeit a limited view, and I'm trusting their secondhand information, why is it when these 11-on-11s in their own internal practices go on, is Pitts so lowly targeted compared to everybody else? Is that fake news? Is that something else? Do you even see that on your end or hear anything about that on your end, or it's a non-issue?
I just don't think it's an issue. I think, you spend a lot of time trying to work with different guys and trying to, bring guys along. And like Ray's getting a lot of targets. Ray's not getting a lot of targets this year. Right, like, and again, you can see the Clemson stuff behind me, right? Like, I love Ray. He's a Clemson alumnus. Like, I'm not throwing him the football. I don't even like it when he's trying to catch punts. I'm not a fan. I think Kirk Cousins knows what he has in Kyle Pitts, right? You've got a mismatch. Regardless of who we're talking about on the other side and where you put him on the field. I don't care where you put him. He is a mismatch. And so, I think they're trying to make sure that they develop chemistry with everybody else. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a given. So, he could end the preseason with no catches. He could get no catches in practice. It is what it is for me. I think when the lights turn on, you will see him all over that field, and he will I still think he's going to be 1 or 2 when it comes to catches.
RC, can I get a follow-up in there? And you're probably going to ask this.
No, before you do that, your page displaying the game.
Yeah.
Do you need to update it?
Yeah.
Because things are happening.
Let me mess with that a little bit.
And then if you could bring it down a little bit, or maybe your template may be set because it's kind of cut off the bottom.
No, I can.
Which, while you're working on that, allows me to ask the next question. I read a throwaway line in a practice report that said that Pitts was winded and was having some. They kind of hinted that it was conditioning issue. I don't know if maybe he was just working too hard, but they kind of threw that line in there, and I've seen him lowly targeted on some practice reports. So you're saying he's in supreme condition. So I'm going to guess there's nothing to that.
For me, it's just, and this is just my interpretation of things, right? Practice reports are usually people's opinions on things. I'm just not, you watch the Olympics, right? And you see a sprinter run a 100, all of a sudden they bent over. Are they winded? Yeah, a little bit, but it's because they just went out there and they just ran 100 meters, right? I mean, we're in Atlanta. It's been 90 plus degrees plus 85% humidity forever. They've got him working all over the field. He's going to be a little tired. Mahomes
2.0 just completed his first pass. And I'm not joking. So Pitts, obviously, if you're picking him number 1, there's nothing to worry about. Everything is fake news about him that I'm seeing.
I'm just not worried about it, right? It's just, there are guys that we see all the time. I mean, hell, you look at just as a team, remember when the Lions went 0-16, they went 4-0 in the preseason, right? Like, Like it just for me, preseason stuff, practice stuff. To quote Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice, right? Like, I mean, it's just not for me. It's just not that big of a deal.
I don't know if I can trust your advice since you said that. Who'd you say was going to get the first touches for Atlanta? Avery Williams. It was Carlos Washington on your bingo card. Got the first carry for Atlanta.
Well, Jeff, going back to your response about the target share, I noticed that. Sorry, I thought the Dolphins just muffed the punt, but going back to your response on who's going to lead the target share, I noticed that you left off London from the top 3. I don't know how plugged in you are in the fantasy football community, but like he's trading pretty up high with all the top wide receivers because people are projecting that Cousins is going to throw to him the way that he would like target Justin Jefferson. Are you hearing differently like from camp? Like is he just not having that connection with Kirk for as far as you know?
He's not Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair.
Like he's not Justin Jefferson. I mean, any quarterback is going to target Justin Jefferson, right? Like that.
Would you say that Darnell Mooney is more Justin Jefferson than Drake London is if we were trying to force a Justin Jefferson onto the situation as far as style of play and the way that they're using them from anything you've seen? I
just think the way that they're going to use Mooney lends to him being one of the top 2 receivers for the Falcons offense.
You think he'll slip into the slot potentially and move Ray outside? I wouldn't want to trust Ray as my. Nope. If the slot receiver is going to be important, I'd rather have Ray on the outside and just sprint deep, and take coverage with them, and let everybody else.
Yeah, I mean 100%. Right? Like, again, I'm not a fan of Ray as a wide receiver. I'm just not. So, for me, if Ray is that guy and he's going to be involved in the offense. Like the talk has been this week of him being involved in the offense, that tells me that this offense is going to struggle. If he's your third wide receiver, you're in trouble. If being honest, if Ray McCloud is your third wide receiver, we're in trouble. And maybe wide receivers probably. If he's your third playmaker on offense, I mean, when you look at this, London, Pitts, Robinson, Mooney. Hell, I would even say Rondale Moore and Charlie Warner before Ray McCloud, if I'm being honest with you.
Ouch.
I think we have an injury. I didn't see who went down. I don't know if you guys did.
Andrew, is your YouTube rolling? It's frozen up. I'm just making sure nobody else is.
Looks like it's rolling on my end, but let me.
I got 50 things going on mine, including the Steelers Houston game.
That's frozen over on my end too.
Shoot. Let me send a message to the chat.
DeMarco Hellams was the one who was injured on the ground.
Got it.
The guy who's not going to start at safety.
Are you guys still frozen up?
It's starting to move.
No, it's moving again on my end.
A little bit choppy, but
yeah, it's saying that the stream status is poor.